Valentine's Day is right around the corner, which means it's the season of chocolate, love, and heartbreak. Anyway, back to that love part. What is love? Whether you believe it's chemicals, two people caring deeply about each other, or some other third option, that doesn't matter, because we're not here to talk about what you think love is, we're here to talk about what the ancient people thought love was. Every culture had love, and most of these cultures had deities that were personifications of love. These gods would control the love lives of people who believed in them, and often, if you pleased the gods, then they would reward you with a loved one. Conversely, if you did something to upset the gods, then they would curse your love life. Most of the time by killing the person you loved, so they weren't that creative on the other end. Anyway, here are 4 different gods of love. Most people know who Aphrodite is, so I'm going to go through her real quick. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. She was born when Kronos castrated his father and threw his sac into the sea. When the sea foam merged with the fluids inside the sac, Aphrodite arose, as demonstrated in this beautiful painting. Technically, this makes her the oldest Olympian, but you shouldn't say that because that would get her pissed off. And besides, she's a Greek god, so age isn't a thing for them. There is another version of her birth where she's the daughter of Zeus, but the version of her rising from the sea is much more known and widely accepted. Aphrodite was so powerful she could affect all the gods on Olympus, except 3, Artemis, Athena, and Hestia. All of the male Olympian gods wanted Aphrodite for themselves. Zeus knew that a war could arise if the gods were to fight over Aphrodite, so he quickly married her off to Hephaestus, the ugliest Olympian. Aphrodite didn't care that she was married though, and she had an affair with every Olympian except the 3 mentioned previously, Hades, Hera, and surprisingly Zeus. Aphrodite's first affair, and probably her most famous, was when she slept with the god of war, Ares. Unfortunately for them though, Helios, a sun god, when he saw this happening, he went and spilled the beans to Hephaestus. Hephaestus had a plan though. He created a large bronze net and captured Aphrodite and Ares in the act. He then brought them to Mount Olympus where all the Olympians could laugh at them. Poseidon eventually got them free, and Aphrodite slept with him as a way to say thank you. Aphrodite, unsurprisingly, had a few more affairs with mortals, but I'll cover them in a future video. The Greek goddess of love cheats on her husband with almost anyone. What does that say about the Greeks? Beats me. I try not to judge based on people's ancestors. Okay, time for a god you all know about, but you might not know that much about him. Cupid is the Roman god of love. Yes, Roman, not Greek. Growing up, I always heard about Cupid and how sometimes he'd be paired up with Aphrodite, so I just assumed he was a Greek god. A quick Google search revealed that was not the case, and I was mistaken. His Greek counterpart is Eros, but since everyone knows Cupid better, I'm just gonna call him that. Cupid is the son of Mars, the god of war, and Venus, the goddess of love, and Aphrodite's Roman counterpart, as I'm sure you know. While in Greece, Eros is depicted as a slender boy wielding a bow and arrow. When the Romans came in, he evolved into a chubby boy with wings, and he shot arrows in people's butts, causing them to fall in love. Yay, syncretism! Cupid's most famous story is the one where he and Psyche got married. To make a very long story short, Psyche is the most beautiful woman in the world, and starts getting worshipped more than Venus. Naturally, this pisses Venus off. Venus orders Cupid to shoot Psyche with an arrow so that way she's killed and people stop worshipping her. When Cupid sees Psyche, however, he lowers his bow as he is stunned by her beauty and then accidentally shoots himself in the foot, literally, causing him to fall in love with Psyche. Cupid ends up meeting with Psyche in secret and they do the deed every night. The thing is, they do it in total darkness so that Venus doesn't see them, which means Psyche never sees Cupid. One night, Psyche brings a torch though to see Cupid's face, and when she sees him, she accidentally drops her torch on him because she can't believe she's been sleeping with a god. Cupid is burned when the torch hits him though, and he runs away in fear and sadness. When Venus finds out Psyche burned her son, she becomes even more enraged and forces Psyche to go through 2 trials. In the first trial, Psyche has to get pure beauty essence from Persephone. so she goes to the underworld and asks the queen for pure beauty essence. Persephone gives her a box and sends her on her way. While Psyche's going back up to the overworld though, she opens the box and tries to steal some beauty essence for herself. This ends up killing her though, because Persephone didn't put beauty essence in the box, she put the essence of death inside. Cupid is heartbroken to learn that Psyche is dead, and he begs Jupiter to allow her to live. Jupiter is at first hesitant, but he decides to make Psyche a god, because he thinks Cupid and Psyche look cute together. Wow, a Roman mythology story that doesn't end in tragedy, so that's rare. Alright, on to Norse mythology. Freya is the Norse god of love, but she also covers lust, beauty, fertility, war, and death. Quite the diverse set of skills, if I do say so myself. Freya is the twin sister of Frey, and they are both Vanir, which is a different tribe of gods from the Asir, which are where Thor, Odin, and many other iconic gods are from. Freya and Frey were given to the Asir after the Vinar-Aesir War. And forgive me for butchering that pronunciation. Freya is seen as one of, if not the most beautiful goddess in Asgard. Many beings, mortal, godly, dwarven, and elvish, all want to be with her. Beauty isn't the only special thing about her though. Freya has a sacred place, which is, I'm not even going to bother pronouncing that, so here it is on the screen. This is a place where half the warriors who die in battle go. The other half go to a place I'm sure you all know, Asgard. Freya and Odin split the warriors evenly, but for whatever reason, Asgard is just the more famous. Probably because of Marvel. Another interesting fact about Freya is she loves animals. Freya has a chariot pulled by two cats which pull her across the sky, but if she needs to get somewhere in a hurry, then she can use a cloak made of falcon feathers, which gives her the ability to fly very fast. She also has a pet boar whose name loosely translates to battle swine. There might be more to this pig than meets the eye though. According to Loki, which means you gotta take this with like a pound of salt, the pig is actually one of Freya's lovers in disguise, a mortal named Otar. Loki might just be saying this so that when he sees Freya ride on the pig, she gets to call her immoral for riding her lover in public. You never know with Loki. Het-hert is the Egyptian goddess of love. She's often depicted with a woman's body and a cow's head. Early on in Egyptian history, she was the mother of Horus. We can see this because her name literally translates to House of Horus. Later on, the Egyptian goddess of magic would later come and take her place as the mother of Horus. Het-hert remained the goddess of love though, so that's what we're going to talk about. According to one myth, Het-hert had the ability to split into 7 beings, and these 7 beings would arrive at a child's bed to announce their fate. These 7 Het-herts were similar to the Greeks' faith because they knew the lifespan and destiny of every person who was born. There's also another story where Het-hert actually becomes the goddess of destruction Sekhmet. Sekhmet went on a massive killing spree, and the gods got her blackout drunk in order for her to stop. Apparently, there's also some evidence that says she's the mother of Ra, so let me give you a quick rundown. Het-hert is the mother of Horus, the mother of Ra, the daughter of Ra through Sekhmet, both a bloodthirsty, chaotic being, and a benevolent, loving mother. And now she has connections to the afterlife and Osiris? Ugh, I know mythology and religion are rarely consistent, but come on, Egypt. There is a reason for these inconsistencies, a method to this madness, literally. The Egyptian religion was around for thousands upon thousands of years. In that time, a lot of stuff can change. Gods regularly blended together and became one. Some fell out of fashion, new gods came up, other gods were imported. Heck, there was one pharaoh who even made the entire religion monotheistic at one point. Don't get me wrong, Egyptian mythology is cool, but just all the different variations just get annoying. Yay, syncretism? Well, that's 4 gods of love for you. A Greek, a Roman, a Norse, and an Egyptian god. Just one more and we'd have a full Smite team. I hope you all have a good Valentine's Day, and if you need me, I'll be in my room eating ice cream. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you want to see more, and have a good one.